I'm Alex Pico, and together with Nicolas Lenover, we're going to share some of the highlights from the SIG meetings, or Special Interest Group meetings, that just happened a couple days ago. If you are interested, it's a large room, but we're a fairly small group, so if you want to bring it in closer and scoot a few chairs, that would make our speakers feel a little more comfortable, probably. So these, can I get a show of hands? How many people attended one of the SIG meetings earlier? Great, so most of you know what that's about. These are going to be a couple of the highlight talks, which is nice to do here in the main meeting for a couple reasons. One, as you know, as a SIG attendee, you can't go to all of them. And also, now as part of the main meeting, a bit of exposure for how the SIG meetings work. Another note on that, we're trying to vision these as more of communities of special interest, thinking of ISMB in general as a collection of communities of special interest that are represented in one way by these SIG meetings. So that's this new COSI term, COSI, communities of special interest, that you'll see. So for example, the network biology SIG that took place just a couple days ago, it includes what you'd expect, keynote talks, journal club, and a lot of focus on our posters. We had some poster prizes provided by F1000 Research. But in addition to just the SIG meeting, again, thinking more as a community, throughout the year, we engage in this network biology group that's at LinkedIn. You're all welcome to join it if you're not on there already. There's about 500 members that can share publications, share discussion topics in the network biology field. You can also share job openings that come up in your lab, for example. Another way we're connecting throughout the year is through something called ISCB Connect, which ISCB set up for all the SIG organizations to help us establish a community presence throughout the year. And so there's discussions there. You can share, again, articles or events that are happening throughout the year. There's about 600 people logged on to the network biology one already. Again, the URL is long, but if you just Google ISCB Connect, you'll find all the SIGs represented there. So find the one that matches your interest most, and I recommend joining that. One more thing I'd like to mention about the NetBio SIG, but also the other SIGs. Many of us have channels on F1000 Research where we post all of the talks and most of the posters from the SIG meeting. So if you missed one of the SIGs that, because you couldn't attend them all, go to F1000 Research, look at the channels there. They're organized under ISCB, and you'll be able to find the talks and posters. Before we get to our keynote talks from the highlights of our SIG, I want to ask Nicolas to come up and introduce one of the newest COSIs for systems modeling.
Good morning. So indeed, SysMod is one of the newest COSIs. It has been created this year, and we only had our first ever SIG at this meeting yesterday. And so there are lots of mathematical type of mathematical modeling. Some simple, some complex, some small, some large. But more and more, we need to bridge these models with bioinformatics, and there is indeed a convergence taking place at the moment between systems-wide analysis and system modeling, the two kinds of system biology, if you want. We infer models from bioinformatic analysis, like, for instance, network inference. We use omics dataset to parameterize the model or to put constraints. And the so-called precision medicine says that they will bridge personal profiling and models in order to predict resistance and new treatment. So the problem is that there are not enough interactions between bioinformaticians and system modelers. They go to different conferences, they have different journals, and so that results in reinvention of the wheel and lack of sharing of methods, of tools, of expertise. And also the two communities sometimes misunderstand the wishes, the questions, and the assumption behind the work of each other. So in summary, there are not enough systems biologists at ISMB, and that used not to be the case in the past. So I think we can remedy that. So the first thing is the SIG, of course. Some of you were at the SIG yesterday. It was the first one. It's a forum for system modelers and bioinformaticians to discuss common research questions and methods. And we aim to cover the full range of methods used in system biology, whether qualitative, quantitative, dynamical, steady state, and so on and so forth. The COSI activities at the moment are few because we're just starting. We have a calendar that covers currently only the COSI activities, but we can imagine that we will expand the coverage of this calendar to related events, for instance. We have a website, which is a wiki, so you can all come and contribute if you want. We have a Twitter handle, so please subscribe, follow, sorry. And so the F1000 research channel is not yet put in place, but it should be within the forthcoming week, and we will put the slides and the posters of the first SIG on there. So the COSI is coordinated by 6 people at the moment from both sides of the Atlantic. But we very much want to engage the community and young researchers and covering different types of modeling. So in summary, SysMod, this is your community of special interest, so it will be exactly what you will make of it, really.
Okay, for this morning, for the first half, we're going to have 2 speakers. The first one is Lars Jensen from University of Copenhagen, and he was a keynote speaker in the network biology SIG.